kind of vertebrate. On this, we want to very supportive. We try to listen. I will talk to
Hello, my name is Joshua Ishaya. Welcome you to the program Aqua Farming on your first agricultural based TV station. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, Aqua Farming is a program that is designed to discuss both organisms, plants, and animals that live in the water. Today happens to be different and spectacular as we'll be looking at the Spanish cooperation initiative with the Agricultural Research Council of Nigerian Partnership. The Spanish cooperation is a Spain international effort which is aimed to fight poverty and promote sustainable human development through various forms of aid and partnership. In that light, the Department of Aquaculture of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, through the Regional Center of Excellence in Aquaculture Nigeria (RICOI), is set to embark on a massive training to empower women in aquaculture. Stay tuned.
We had our intention to support women in aquaculture in Nigeria, which we really appreciate your efforts in supporting women in aquaculture, in alleviating poverty and gaining food security. Because this administration is aimed at strengthening the food security system. And today we are here to receive the August visitors so that we want to know what they have for us in terms of support to the Nigerian women in aquaculture in general.
Regional Center of Excellence in Aquaculture. This center was actually established way back between 2007 and 2019 during the implementation of West Africa Agricultural Productivity Program. During that program, it was a regional program. About 9 centers across the West African region were established. Based on each center was established based on its comparative advantage. And all the centers are supposed to work together to share the knowledge or technologies or any advantage they have so that the whole region will feel the impact of each center, just like we were discussing at the fish pond. So these are the 9 centers based on their strengths. So, but the establishment of this center, they were established first of all as national center of specialization. So, and the intention was to nurture them to grow to regional center. So, as I'm talking to you now, some centers are still at the level of national center of specialization, but this center has the advantage of evolving to the regional capacity because of our performance. In fact, this privilege was given to us March this year because we were just at national level, but in March an assessment was conducted and were found where it was deemed fit that we evolve to regional center of excellence. So the regional center of excellence is actually operating not alone. We are collaborating. We are collaborating with the allied research institutions. We are collaborating with the federal colleges of agriculture. We have about 3 fisheries-based federal colleges, and then we are also collaborating with the universities. So these are some of our main collaborators. Sorry, I have to rush because there's no time. So in our strategy for 2025 and 2028, these are the things that we have. We are working with research and innovation, capacity building and education, sustainability and environmental stewardship, policy and advocacy, industry collaboration. You can see that capacity building is at the heart of our strategic plan. So over the years, we've made some significant achievements. Big progress in regionality. Because what actually hindered our progress to being promoted to regional center was the lack of this regionality, but recently it has been achieved. You can see that we have the center has two statutory committees, the steering committee and the scientific and technical committee. The steering committee approves the program and budget and all the activities planned or produced by the scientific and technical committee. So in all these committees, we have regional representation. Like in the scientific and technical committee, we have participants from Kora, Togo, Ghana. The same thing with our scientific and technical committee. They are the ones that develop our program. We have our counterpart countries participating in those. Even this plan we have for the next training of the youth. This year, we've been holding trainings. We've been holding meetings with our regional counterparts, and we've been harnessing all their ideas to see how we can make our program better. So we have big increase in the quality and adequacy of research team. In fact, that was actually noted, and it was a high credit given to us when the assessors came some time ago. And we have major advances in research and technology generation. A lot of technologies have been generated and promoted in our various research institutions. And recently, what we're even doing in aquaculture is the promotion of shellfish, because Nigeria has been basically catfish based. So we're trying to diversify to other species. We're concentrating on shellfish, the prawns. And then we have the big performance we have our scientific publication, we have the Journal of Applied Agricultural Research here, and we have other kinds of publications across our collaborating research institutes. And then for now, we have some improved environments, for our performance. We go to some of our research institutes, we see that they have built some hostels, and they modernize their working environment so that it can be fitting and it will be well utilized by even our counterparts coming from other countries. So we are training of national performance in training national and regional stakeholders. Right now we have a special program going on. We call it professional immersion program. We have people coming from different countries. Right now we are expecting about 4 students from Ghana, Mali, Togo, Côte d'Ivoire, and Senegal coming here to get some practical knowledge in aquaculture. And we've trained quite a number of people through so many projects, through ECOWAS, GIS, and other things. Continue. So, just to give us an overview of the training we just concluded. We just concluded the training about a year ago. So, we trained about 131 participants in addition to the other trainees. Continue. So just to show the practical section of what happened during the training, it was mostly hands-on training. The participants had to learn a lot: fish identification, broodstock stripping, as in those involved in fish breeding. Because some of them actually came with different. We trained across the fish value chain, the aquaculture value chain. So everybody came with different intentions. Some were interested in fish breeding. Continue. Some were interested in fish formulation, and then even fish processing. These are all, delivered during the last training. Okay? Then after that, the participants were trained on how to develop their business plan. The training was not just training. When we train them, we also empower them, and the empowerment is just not the empowerment. We have to use the improved nice technologies generated by our research institutions. There are some technologies in the area of aquaculture that will improve fish production and help fish farmers a lot. So we brought those technologies, number one, to popularize those technologies and also to use them to empower our trainees so that when they go, they will use it and see, and they will come back and then utilize those technologies. So this is the time we're distributing to the trainees, for those who are selling fish, we're giving them the ice box. So all these are improved technologies from our research institutions. We have the all-male tilapia and fast-growing catfish we distributed. And up to today, some of them are growing and still coming back to ask for them. So this person was the person who came from Mali. Actually, we had participants from Mali, Ghana, and Niger. So he went back to Mali and he started his venture. You can see him packaging his tilapia. From back. Some of us saw him when he came, he could not speak English. We had to get an interpreter for him and see what he is doing. So now, everything we are doing is actually visible. You know, everything we're doing, we collaborate with NTA, AIT. So we have our YouTube link, I said I was going to share with you. And then the Arcn TV. The Arcn TV is heard in about 23 countries. So, and then we work with some Guardian, some newspapers. So these are all documentaries during our training. So
ECOWAS see aquaculture as a key component of our regional integration and economic development, and that's why we see as a component that focus on food security, economic diversification, sustainable development, youth and women inclusion, and climate resilience. You know, through our regional aquaculture development program and the comprehensive strategic framework for sustainable fishery and aquaculture policy that we develop, we partner or we work with member states, each country, such as Nigeria and other member countries in ECOWAS, to develop and strengthen the aquaculture sector and fishery sector. The focus on aquaculture at this meeting. We work in the production system. We facilitate investments and also adoption of technology across the member countries. This is what we do. You know, at ECOWAS, we base our intervention on, is guided by 3 broad pillars. One of those pillars is policy and institutional support, because as a regional organization, we need to look at regulation, policy that will enhance development and growth of the sector in the region and each of the member countries. And that's why we have our ECOWAP, which is the ECOWAS agricultural policy. Under it is our comprehensive and sustainable framework for sustainable fishery and aquaculture development policy, which is in line with the continental agricultural policy. So the other one is for capacity building and knowledge sharing. We make sure we facilitate capacity building, we transfer technology, technical cooperation, training. We do this by instituting implementing a lot of pilot projects across the member countries. And the last pillar is on partnership and investment facilitation. Here we try to promote collaboration within member states, technical and financial institutions, research organization and development partners such as FAO, World Bank, African Union, including regional center of excellency, and that's why we are here today. Some of the initiatives we have done over the years here in Nigeria, of course, and in other countries too. Between 2003 and now, we have trained a lot of young people through partnership with FABA, which is in Anambra State, and with National Center of Civilization, which is now Regional Center of Excellency in Aquaculture. About 40% of people trained are women. It's a mandate for us to focus more on women, and we partner with the university, partner with other regional centers like the Songa Center in the Republic and so many other things, in order to train women, youth in aquaculture production, business development and entrepreneurship in the region. One of the reasons why we are here today is because Farmers Corporation is partnering with ECOWAS Fund and aquaculture projects focusing on women. So it starts women empowerment in the aquaculture in the ECOWAS region. what it's all about. I'll give a brief overview of what it's all about and how maybe this Center of Excellency is going to fit into this project. You know, we all know that in our region, fish is very, very important. Of course, it's not enough because we see import so much, and women, we know they play a key role in food security in agriculture and even in aquaculture. And for women, we've seen that there are some challenges they are facing that they are not being able to meet up with the men counterpart, and that's the gap that the Spanish Corporation has mandated us to make sure we focus on that so that women can also be benefited.
Many women around the region have not been don't have yet access to those skills. So the other day we had Mr. Arcn very much mentioned this. The other day we had the people from Liberia, even the director from NAFDA. It's like the minister for fisheries in Nigeria. He was begging us to come and facilitate that this training can also impact them in Liberia. They have tremendous potential, but it's the training and the skill that's missing. And that's what ECOWAS is here for. And that's what CORAF is here for. So I believe that this is a project that we very much cherish because it touches exactly what ECOWAS is. And it reminds us why we are working with ECOWAS. So there's one part that is that's the part that is the technical part. But there's also the political part. You know, when we are designing interventions, we are designing support measures for the industry. When industry leaders are sitting with the ministers, are those problems of women being captured? We don't know. That's the issue. And I was particularly glad when you mentioned the issue of fish feeding, because fish feeding, when you look at somebody that is venturing into aquaculture, the woman typically will have like a weakness, weaker business models. Their farms are going to be slower, the farms are going to be smaller, etc., etc., etc. They are more likely to be out of business. So this is why when you're talking about fish feeding, it's something that is making woman-led business more sustainable. And this is the kind of things we want to focus in this project. Focus in these things that can help women be successful at their business. This is what we call the gender perspective. It's not a word we have to be scared of. It is just a factor of reality. So to go ahead with the feed, you know that this is also something that we are doing with the calls. This is something we are doing with many other. The other day we were with the livestock ministry, talking exactly about feed. It's very important. We know that 75% of the cost of a fish farm comes from the feed. So this is something we have to look with a lot of attention, and I very much encourage you to really dedicate the needed attention to this issue in the framework of this project. And I am very happy that you bring out this investment that the World Bank was doing. You know, these little projects that we are doing, they are always conceptualized so that they can be catalytic, and that the interventions that we can demonstrate here can attract larger envelopes out there from the Spanish government and elsewhere.
This project belongs to one of the priorities for Spanish foreign policy and development policy, which is the fight against inequalities and especially the role that women should have on development of the countries and communities. That belongs to a program called Ellas Plus, so she in Spanish, that we fight strongly to have ECOWAS there, to have access to these funds, 600,000 euros, to support, as you mentioned and you were explaining very nicely, the women empowerment in a key sector, we think, but also because we think is leadership of women, and I'm very glad that I'm watching all this time to that corner of the table because I'm very proud that the ladies, the real protagonism are here today. So we are fostering further participation, leadership of women, participation in all the sectors of the society. We know that you face more difficulties than the rest of the society, and especially in agriculture or fish farming. We think this is a very adequate and opportune and very key initiative. This initiative also belongs to the general context and commitment of the Spanish cooperation with ECOWAS. You know, this is a regional approach. Spain feels very close West Africa to the heart. We work closely with ECOWAS Commission since 2009. We have just renewed our program, Spain ECOWAS, for the next 4 years, and it has 3 main components. First one is access to clean energies, second is gender, third is agriculture. So this project that we are visiting today matches 2 of the 3 priorities. So for us, it's a double honor to be here. We know that ECOWAS has a regional scope, a region which is, I don't have to tell you, difficult days, especially today, you know, we double value the presence of the Commissioner. And we think this center of research, agriculture research, that Nigeria hosts and push for, could place a reference, and the women that are involved in this project could be a reference for the rest of the women of the region. So we really encourage you to continue your work. Many women, as Madam was saying, in Mali, in other countries, are watching you. They are waiting for your knowledge, experience, lessons learned. So we hope we can scale up and give more hope to other women in the region.
I learned how to train fish. To the glory of God, I was able to train other 50 women. And by God's grace, 10 of them are functioning presently as I speak. They train to table sizes, they sell. They train to smokeable sizes, they sell, and that's what they smoke their own and also sell. So we are very, very happy. She talked about, when she invited me about this, I said, in fact, I'll come and testify and say thank you to this group. And we are looking forward to more trainings, you know, and we have some strategies anyway. And it's smoking, some of us use firewood. If we can get smoking clean to smoke, we'll be very happy.
I learned a lot. Fingerlings, I started 100 fingerlings, with growing to the table size, and continued. While continuing, I now developed interest in hatching. From hatching, today I can hatch 1,000 fingerlings, which people come around from different states and buy from me. So from the table size, I smoke, and people training, I trained about more than 20 people within my compound, which women participated all around, and youths, and even secondary school children, they come around. They get 20, from 20 I give them free, sometimes just to encourage them. Sometimes I give them 10, 20, so that's how I started encouraging, and we continued from there. Thank you very much, ECOWAS. Thank you, Arcn. Thank you very much.
Not saying because we are here, but not just in West Africa, virtually in Africa as a whole, Nigeria will be in the top in terms of aquaculture production. The major issue and fact is that when we started that project, WAP, like she said clearly in her presentation, some countries had some commodities which they are specialized on. And I think the initiative that came from ECOWAS is just to look at the little resources that we are having. Instead of replication, since our agroecological zones are almost the same within the sub-region, instead of replicating our research activity in different actions and different areas, let Nigeria concentrate in developing technologies for aquaculture that could be adaptable by other West African countries, as well as let Ghana concentrate in developing technologies for root crops that will be adaptable by other countries. Senegal should go ahead with the dry cereals. Let's see how also whatsoever technology they have developed could also be adopted by other countries, as well as Burkina Faso for fruits like that, Cote d'Ivoire for banana and plantain and co. However, this had been a very good initiative because it has also helped ECOWAS in targeting where to push up its resources when it comes. And I think it is also easy for them to track out results as it comes, and it's also be easy for them to also monitor the implementation of all of the projects they are proposing or they have raised. With this, I wouldn't want to say much. Our executive secretary here, as maybe you've been told, is just new into the system because he has come in to take over not quite long. However, the support he is given is immensely beautiful, because he came and met some projects on ground, and with no distance time, he had given all the support for the project to move and push forward. She, in her presentation, would have mentioned also the FASA project. The FASA project is being financed by the Norwegian government, like we have said, through the World Fish. And Nigeria is the one who sent that project, though it's in conjunction of 3 countries coming together only to address the issue of fish feed. To encourage our people, particularly women, to come into aquaculture, we really look at how we can break down the costs of feed in fish production, and that will increase their profit margin. It isn't going to be very okay if you just decide training fish and you're keeping fish, and after feeding them, by the time you sell, you realize that you're only recovering the cost of production, that is for the feed and co, and then just very little profit margin. Many people will run away from such business. And so that is exactly what we are looking at, alternative feed source for fish and aquaculture in Nigeria. And that is what they are working with in conjunction with other countries. And I'm assuring you that at the end of this project, when they are able to conclude that, fish feed in Nigeria will be as cheap as anything we should be thinking of, because the sources...
Many thanks for staying with us on Agriculture Research Council of Nigerian Television and the program Aqua Farming, as we brought to you one of the largest partnerships in the history of aquaculture in Nigeria by the Spanish Corporation alongside the Agriculture Research Council of Nigeria. On behalf of the crew members who made the program possible, my name remains Joshua Ishaya saying bye for now.